Morning.
You well, sir? Ready to go places?
Yes, indeed.
Mr. Soldado?
Cheers. And indeed, I was ready to go places, specifically Melbourne, Australia, back at the start of 2025. It's like they say, better late than never, and despite sitting on this footage for a bit longer than I would have liked, I finally managed to get back in the mindset of my summer down under. The Vibe Hotel would be my home base for the next 2.5 weeks, and I certainly couldn't complain about it. I mean, look at this view. I'm gonna do things a bit different with this video, as I won't be working chronologically as much, and instead just showing you what I saw and experienced during my stay. You'll notice a few other things I tweaked from the last video as we journey through the capital of Victoria. So let's get this thing started. First up is a spot I hit up a handful of times, as it was less than a 20-minute walk from my hotel, the Queen Victoria Market. An inner-city market that has been around since 1878, it's the last major market in the city's CBD, though not in the city itself. We'll get to you soon enough, South Melbourne Market. The Melbourne stay featured so many coffee spots that it would be easy to lose track, but Market Espresso certainly was an early treat. Beyond a cup of joe, there is something for everyone here, which is evident by the fact that the market attracts over 10 million visitors annually. And the market itself isn't strictly contained to one central location. It stretches to a number of buildings in the vicinity with a greater focus on a wide range of culinary treats for foodies of all tastes. And on this particular morning, I found myself drawn to Reuben's Grill for what I can say was easily a top 5 breakfast sandwich.
Lovely, thank you.
Egg, cheese, and spicy sausage. Does it get any better than this? But we are back on the hunt for the best cup of coffee in Melbourne, and I found my way to Brother Bababudan. Named after the first coffee smuggler, this spot uses some of the best beans in the country.
Lovely, thank you very much.
And as a Melbourne coffee staple, seats were hard to come by. At least on the floor. But for a good reason, as this brew using 7 Seeds roasters was fantastic and is definitely worth the wait. I really couldn't just keep putting coffee in my stomach without something at least partially nutritious, so I tracked down another spot with some interesting flares to its design. The aptly named Tropicana Juice and Food Bar, for what must have been my 100th acai bowl of my Australia trip. The bowl hit the spot as I watched city life pass by before jumping up and joining the chaos. Now, I have no idea how many nerdy shopping spots I hit up in this town, but it was definitely more than a few. And as always, there was just so much that I wanted to get my grubby little mitts on, but with a suitcase back in my room quickly nearing its breaking point already, I had to be pretty selective to start things out in downtown Melbourne. But hey, that doesn't mean I can't have a little browse, right? I came close to pulling the trigger on a few purchases in the early days of my stay, but managed to stay pretty strong and hold back, knowing full well I had a few places bookmarked for later on in the trip that I needed to leave space for. Now, let's revisit one of my favorite meals in Melbourne, which I don't say lightly. Tokyo Moto specialized in one of my favorite Japanese dishes, omurice. And with a cold can of ebisu in hand, it was time to dig in.
Come.
This was a banging meal, every ingredient prepared to perfection. The rice and curry alone could have been enough to satisfy my hunger, but top it off with perfectly cooked eggs and a delicious topping of grilled eel, and this becomes a knockout that didn't stand a chance when it was put in front of me. time you're in town, get yourself to Mid-City and enjoy an authentic piece of Japanese dining culture.
Doing beach day. Gonna try the beach, watery beach. Been in Australia a few weeks now, and finally making it to the beach. So, it's time to even out this farmer's tan I've got going. It's bright.
Hey, finally on the beach and finally showing my face, and it just under 6 minutes into the video. It was tough work sitting on a beach, soaking in the sun in the middle of January while back home in the UK, or the land of eternal darkness as it's officially known, the cold, wet winter sucked the joy out of every living thing. But I tried to put on a strong face.
It's not bad.
Now stop me if you've heard this one before, but feeling a bit peckish, there could only be one thing on my mind. Yeah, I know, but I'm a simple man who likes his not really as healthy as I'd like to believe berry bowls, despite acai brothers messing with a good thing and adding Greek yogurt to the equation. So, coffee, acai. Two guesses what's happening next. Path Coffee is a specialty coffee bar located not far from the Queen Victoria Market, and well worth a visit for any coffee aficionados, as it offers up a truly immersive coffee experience and, more importantly, a damn fine cup of joe. You could forgive me for thinking I was on vacation, but really, how could I forget that Melbourne in January can mean only one thing: tennis. And this city really takes it seriously this time of the year, as the Australian Open opens its gates to over 1 million visitors annually throughout the 3-week tournament. And while I did find myself at Melbourne Park on a daily basis, I wasn't one of the lucky spectators. No, I was here to work, taking part in my first Australia Open in 10 years. And I've got to give a shout out to the Flying Turtle coffee machine, which powered me through 3 weeks of night shifts with its numerous caffeinated drink options.
Night shift. Back to the hotel. Relatively early tonight. Got ourselves a case of beer. It's a very special case. It's a very on-brand case. It is Kaiju Crush for this Kaiju Creative Goes Down Under. Yeah, there you go. Enjoy, Frank. I will, Frank. Good night, Frank. Till tomorrow, Frank. And can you believe it? We are sort of nearing the halfway mark here in Melbourne. Not quite yet. Work has been, it's been fine. Like, a bit frazzled. You can tell I'm just waking up here. But gonna hit the city streets again today for a few hours before work. Hopefully gonna get myself a nice meal. We're gonna have to see what the queuing culture is like here in Melbourne, because I'm imagining the place that I'm planning to go might have a bit of a line, and if it's too long, I'm not a queuer.
In hindsight, I would have waited in a queue for Mensho Tokyo for days, because this ramen shop, a chain which began life back in 2005, started by ramen master Tomohiro Shono, features a Michelin-awarded ramen which, and I don't say this lightly, is one of the top 3 ramens I've had in my life. The Tori Paitan ramen opened my eyes to a world outside of simple tonkatsu, and while the more traditional pork-based broth will always have a special place in my heart, this chicken-centric version owns my soul. And as for the queue itself, I arrived about 15 minutes before they opened, and I was the 5th person through the door. But by the time I left, there was going to be a bit of a wait involved. Refueled with an award-winning ramen slushing around my belly, it was time to get moving and find my way to a shop that I couldn't wait to visit.
Managed to get the tram outside of the city center and find Lobo's Collectibles, and my god, what a shop that was. It was absolutely amazing. Basically, every time I looked around the cabinets of this shop, I was amazed at just some of the treasures. Every direction you looked as well. Up, down, ceiling, floor, left, right, tucked behind other items. It was a dangerous place. The people who work there, own it, work there. Obviously, really nice people, really helpful. There was a few things that I thought they might have or I was looking for, and they helped point me in that direction, and I spent a little bit of coin there, a little bit more coin than I thought. But yeah, if you ever have a chance out here in Melbourne to hit up Lobo's Collectibles, definitely do it, because you will not be disappointed. You will find a lot of stuff that you'll want to take home with you.
I spent a lot of time eating, drinking, and shopping, so let's slow things down a bit and take a stroll over to the Queen Victoria Gardens. Located on a triangle of land across from the Arts Centre Melbourne, the Queen Victoria Gardens fills 12 acres of land with lush greenery and an escape from the hustle and bustle of the city centre. The park features over 10,000 plant species from around the world. Sweeping lawns, tranquil lakes, and majestic trees litter the grounds, and it's also home to an amazing range of wildlife. Opened in 1905, the park attracts over 2 million visitors annually, and it's no wonder why. An oasis that is just a stone's throw away from the city's skyscrapers, it offers up something for everyone, including something I didn't have on my Melbourne bingo card: mystery ice cream.
Mystery gelato. Featuring 5 shades of grey. I think the dark one is a fruity one. I don't know what the bottom one is.
World beater there. Running. What's he running from? Or to? Nobody knows. We find out one day. Unless his heart explodes. Anyway, nice little walk in the park, and then eventually head to work today for another tiring, exhausting day of sitting at a chair behind a screen, editing tennis footage. Exciting stuff.
You know what, Past Frank? It actually is tougher than it seems. Or at least, it's definitely more boring. Anyway, back to Melbourne Park for another late shift using my keyboard and mouse to try and make engaging content.
How are you today? Good, how are you? Thank you. Cheers.
Which hopefully I do a better job when I'm getting paid for than I do with these videos.
We're back, lying in bed, just after work, just past, I guess about 2 a.m. So, let's go to sleep. But before bed, one of the better beers that I've found here in Melbourne, one of the better beers I found here in Melbourne, is Bolter XPA Currumbin, Queensland, Australia. And they're bought by Asahi, so it's an Asahi brand. Please drink responsibly. I will. I'll only have one.
Melbourne truly is a knockout during the summer. It features such a diverse range of environments, and while the Queen Victoria Gardens will probably take up most of the attention, you can still find a lot of green spaces within the city centre, as I luckily stumbled upon during another quest for caffeine. And on this day, I found myself a bit out of the way at Cagliari Coffee, another popular Melbourne coffee destination which I found through a bit of research. And another spot that lives up to its reputation, as this cafe serves up Ona coffee, another of Australia's specialty roasters which went down a treat and paired perfectly with one of the fresh pastries on offer. Right, let's check the watch. Oh, okay, we're nearly 15 minutes already. No time to sit back and sip a cup of coffee. Let's hit the pavement again and head down to the South Melbourne Market. Open since 1867, the market is somewhat unsurprisingly located in South Melbourne, and while nowhere near the size and scope of the Queen Vic, it certainly has a charm all its own. As its website says, it is the quintessential village market, a place where people come not only to purchase fresh food, but to meet, eat, drink, shop, discover, share, and connect. And you know what? As cheesy as that copy may be, it's a fairly accurate way to describe it.
Let's go chill out at the beach. Sand, sun, water, waves, swimming, sharks? Who knows? Bye.
Right, we're speeding along now. A quick bit of greatest hits to wrap up my visit to Melbourne. No time to waste. I mean, what else can I say about the beaches here besides I wish I was back lying on one right now? I've certainly had worse ways to start a working day. By this point, I missed Christmas and New Year's with friends and family and worked nearly 6 weeks straight of evening shifts. But as terrible as all that sounds, it did afford me the ability to get out and explore 2 amazing cities in a way I never have before. Which includes finding spots like Soi 38, a sort of dining hall in a garage setting serving up authentic Thai noodle dishes, another great meal in a trip filled with great meals. Speaking of which, how about another hidden gem, this time located in the lobby of an office building, Norisong, an onigiri specialist which took me right back to my time in Tokyo. I mean, I could honestly eat rice for every meal, especially when prepared like this. Right, we are nearly home. Hang in there, we're almost done. Promise. It might have been 6 weeks away from home, but it was 6 weeks that I'll never forget.
Melbourne, out there, you've been great. Australia, you've been great. Yeah, let's get packed, let's get in the cab, let's get to the airport, and try to relax for a few hours before we get on the first of 2 long-haul flights.
But that's it. Kaiju Creative went down under. Hope you enjoyed the ride as much as I did. And keep an eye on the channel. We got more trips coming soon.